Hey, what's up, guys? It's Josh here from Ann Arbor, Michigan. I'm here on this really beautiful hike right now. I'm gonna try to show you. Okay, doesn't this look awesome? I'm trying to do a panorama. You know, where I live here in Ann Arbor, especially during the winter months, we really don't have that many days that are sunny. So I really like to get the chance to come out here and really enjoy the good weather in just the sun whenever I can. And I just love the outdoors, and I love that working in e-commerce gives me the flexibility to always work outdoors. And even though it's a Friday afternoon, I don't have to be in an office, and I can actually just be out here enjoying nature, which is, I think, what is really one of the purposes of being in this world, is just enjoying what it has to offer, right? It's definitely not natural to be locked up in a desk job, 40 hours plus, 50, 60 hours a week sometimes. I don't think that's right. So anyways, hopefully, your endeavors in entrepreneurship, specifically e-commerce, with the tips I'm going to help you, can help you, achieve the dreams that you have, your business dreams, but also any dreams beyond that, right? Because we know that money doesn't make you happy, but the things that money can do can allow you to, whether that's time, do the things that give you fulfillment, whether that's spend more time with your family, your girlfriend, your friends, your kids, travel the world, do things, see things that you probably otherwise wouldn't have been able to do without money. So that's what we do here. I teach you guys how to be successful with your e-commerce businesses and make a lot of money, and maybe donate that money to charity, whatever that may be. So today what I wanted to go over was, almost just tripped on a rock. Today what I wanted to go over is how to pick a product for your business, right? For your e-commerce business. So the first thing I'm going to say is that your product doesn't really matter, in the sense that you can really make money selling anything online if you do it right, okay? Whether that be if you want to sell cameras, which I don't recommend you do that because it's a very difficult market to get into, but clearly there are some companies that make money selling cameras online, right? Canon, Nikon, I don't know any other camera companies, but you can make money with a product like that. It's just difficult. So I just kind of want to say that although you can make money with any product, there's certain products that make it easier to make money, right? It makes the ability for you to enter into that market easier. And if it's really just a one-person show, which I am, which most of you probably are, then choosing a product that isn't that complicated makes this game easier. So just want to get this out there, that really your product doesn't matter, because you can make money on any product. But I'm going to give you some tips on really how to choose the products that are easiest and probably less of a hassle to deal with. Okay. So tip number 1. You don't want to pick a product that has some sort of dangerous applicability to it. And what I mean by that is, you don't want to be selling something like a toothpaste, which you would put in your mouth, involves chemicals, stuff like that. Probably could lead to some potential lawsuits if somebody, swallows the toothpaste, and then you have to deal with that, and you have that on your conscience. It's no, let's leave that to Colgate to deal with. Let's leave that to Crest, those huge companies. I don't think there's a lot of value in trying to go down a product that route that has some potential hazards, I'd like to call it. So things that you ingest, things that you put on your body, things like, I don't know, maybe like supplements, like protein supplements. Look, like if you have the idea for the greatest protein supplement in the world, like that's perfect, go for it. It's just going to be more difficult than the route I've chosen and the route that I'm going to be talking about on this channel, and the way that I just want to make e-commerce easy for people and show them that it is easy, and that can overcomplicate things. So that's why I don't advocate those products, but you can make money with something like supplements. So things like medicines, we're not going to do, nothing about selling alcohol, selling marijuana, nothing like that. No drugs, keeping it legal. Let's see what else. So nothing medical. Also, things that are electronic, like unless you're some sort of electrical engineer or you have some knowledge about electronics and you really know the inner workings of like electronic products, like sure, go for it, but I choose not to go down that route because I don't know how electronics work. It's not something I felt like figuring out. It seemed complicated, right? Like developing a product that's electronic, like I wouldn't know who to go to, where to start, things like that. So I chose not to do products like that. And if this is your first product, your first business, your first brand, I'd probably recommend the same for you. So yeah, tip number one, you want to stay away from things that have hazards or that are really overly complicated, right? Examples of things that aren't overly complicated, that are fairly easy to get into and that don't, have potential risks and hazards to someone's health would be something simple like gloves, right? Like I'm wearing gloves right now because it's cold outside. It's like 30 something degrees here in Michigan. And if you were to sell something like gloves, no one's gonna die wearing your glove, right? It's not complicated. It's just like a piece of cloth, some fabric, some materials that are sewn together. So picking a product like this really allows you to not overcomplicate the whole product development, product research thing, right? So picking a product that's kind of easy to develop. For example, it could be sweaters. Like I'm wearing this pretty basic like camel tan toned sweater, and making a business that produces sweaters is like an easy thing to do, not complicated, probably not going to hurt anybody, doesn't pose like a health hazard, so something I'd be comfortable recommending to you guys. Tip number 2, it helps if you can pick something that you're passionate about. Me, I'm not passionate about, let's say, like, I'm not passionate about jeans, okay? I just have a normal pair of jeans, but I'm not somebody who is super passionate about jeans and all the different sizes, colors, fits, and cuts and stuff like that. So I'm not going to go into that market because it just doesn't sound exciting to me to make something like that. I don't find myself being like a connoisseur or an expert in jeans or somebody who like obsesses over them. So I'm probably not going to choose a product like that. But something that does interest me would be something like water bottles. Like I think water bottles are really cool, and like reusable, sustainable water bottles that like aren't harmful for the environment. Like I think that's really cool. That's something I'm passionate about. There's a market for that. That's a product, that's a business. I'd be willing to create a brand around that because it's not something that kind of grosses me out or disgusts me or I'm going to get tired of. It's something that I think is really cool. So that'd be an example of picking a product or a niche in an area or domain with which you particularly enjoy. Right? Let's say you're like super into basketball. It'd be cool if you made some product that had to do with basketball, right? Whether that's like basketball clothing, basketballs, some basketball equipment. Like I think that would be super cool because you're passionate about that. You know how it works, right? You know the inner workings better than anybody else does. So it's a good type of product or niche to get involved in. Second thing, tip number 3, okay? What you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna choose a product that has proven demand and a lot of it. What I mean by that is to not overcomplicate this and to make it simple. We're not trying to, let's say your product was winter gloves. I wouldn't encourage you to try to reinvent the wheel and create a special type of winter glove that has electronics inside of it and special inner working heaters or make it clear, or try to invent your own material or your own new type of fabric. And yours is the only type that has that fabric. I wouldn't try to reinvent the wheel. I would want to create a product I would want to create a business and a brand around a product that I know people already want to buy. All right, I'll give you an example. Sandals, right? We know that there's a lot of demand for sandals. Right? A lot of people want to buy them, a lot of people wear them, a lot of people buy them online. That's an example of a product that already has proven demand. So if you're going to be creating a brand around sandals, I would just look at what's selling already, looking at the type of products out there, and just copying them and making yours just slightly different from them. Right? No need to reinvent the wheel and create some sort of sandal that, I don't know, allows you to walk on water or something like that. Obviously, I'm exaggerating, but a new type of sandal that really changes the game. You don't need to do that, okay? Which way am I gonna go? Let's go this way. All right, so that was tip number 3. I'm trying to think about my 4th tip. What is that going to be? Okay, you ready? The one of the last things I'd recommend, one of the fourth tip I have in picking a product, is you want to choose something that isn't relatively difficult to ship or sell. Now, what I mean by that is you don't want to sell something like fireplaces, right? Because that's a big product that weighs hundreds of pounds. Shipping, it's difficult. Right? It takes people months, years to decide on what fireplace they're going to buy, right? And if you're going to start ordering, manufacturing, and getting fireplaces made for you, that just sounds like a really complicated process. Unless you have hundreds or millions of dollars to start up your fireplace business, you're probably only going to be able to afford to make 2 or 3 fireplaces. To have somebody make a few for you, and selling that just seems very difficult, right? So I wouldn't recommend something like that. Or something like beds. Like beds, it's hard to ship. It's kind of complicated to sell because people want to try the bed, they want to feel the bed, they want to go to their local mattress store and know what they're getting. That's how they choose to purchase beds. We don't want something like that. We want something that's relatively easy to fly off the shelves without much thought. I think we want to sell things that people don't really overthink. Again, you can make money selling fireplaces, selling beds. That's just not the strategy I choose to invest my time in, because I think it's more complicated and super difficult to get into. So an example of a product that flies off the shelf easy would honestly be something like these, like winter gloves, right? It doesn't take people months or years to decide what type of winter glove they want. They just go online, they'll probably go to Amazon.com, search in winter gloves, see the options that are there, and make their purchase, within a few minutes. Right? That's what we want, something that flies off to the shelf easy. It's an easy purchase, something that's not complex. Okay? Am I making sense? I hope I'm making sense. I think I'm lost. See, I love nature though. I just love doing this. Okay. So it's tip number 4. I'm thinking of more tips. My mind is just blanking right now because it's so beautiful where I'm at. Okay. Actually, back to what I was saying. We want to go with products that have a lot of demand. I'll give you an example, right? Winter gloves. I keep on going back to the winter gloves example. Wouldn't be a bad product or brand for you guys to probably get into. But back to that. With winter gloves, there's tools available to us that allow us to confirm that will probably make sales on our product. It's not a guarantee, but by using this tool, okay, 2 tools actually in particular, you can confirm or deny within about 20 seconds. 5 seconds. I'm going to say 5 seconds. That quickly you can determine if you're going to be successful with this product or not, okay? So, one is going to be something called Google's Keyword Planner. And what this shows us is how many people turn to Google searching for your product, right? It'll tell you if there's only 5 people per year searching for your product, in which case you're probably not going to want to sell it because then you're only going to sell 5 products per year and you're probably not going to make that much money. But what you do want to do is sell something that has maybe 5,000 searches a year for your product, or 10,000 searches a year, even better, 50,000, 100,000 searches a year. What you want to do is sell something that we can confirm that there's a lot of people going online to look for this, right? Because that tells us that there's demand, there's customers who want this, and what you would do is you're going to meet that demand with your product, right? You're going to supply your product for that demand. Simple economics, right? So go ahead and click my video, which is going to be somewhere here, on how to use that Google Keyword Planner tool, which is going to instantly confirm for you whether you will make sales on your product or not. Okay? So go ahead and watch that video. Yeah. Oh, I'm lost. Oh, I want to go this way. Okay. So what's super cool is where I am right now is there's a dam like right here. And I'm going to show you. You're probably going to be able to see it. It's kind of loud. You can probably hear it on the camera already. Anyways, there it is. It's kind of hard to see, but it's in the back. Anyways, I got kind of lost. What the hell? Oh, here we go. I'm just in the woods right here, and I get lost pretty easily. Okay. Yes, so we want to make sure that there's proven demand. So make sure you watch that video, which shows you how to confirm that there's proven demand for what you're trying to sell. Because without demand, if there's nobody looking to buy your product, then you're not going to sell any. So use that tool to gauge interest that your country, wherever it is that you're watching this, has for the product that you're interested in selling. trying to sell in the US, amazing. If you're trying to sell in Europe, a specific country in Europe or Asia, Australia, use that tool to gauge interest for your potential product in your area. Okay. Any other things? Ooh, okay, this is really important, this next one. You want to pick a product that allows you to very easily differentiate yourself from other people. I'll give you an example. Now, I'm wearing I'll give you an example.